Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to thank the authors and all of my colleagues today for the important comments about this important step that we're taking today, and particularly about the need to ensure that our immigrant community here in Los Angeles understands that we understand their fear that Councilmember Rodriguez so eloquently described, and why that is important that this council, especially at a time like this, especially when we've heard the announcements that we've heard from the president-elect, that we understand their fear and that we will take action to ensure that we're not a party to the destruction of families and the disruption and division of our city. And so I think it's very important that we move forward today with this, this measure, and I thank the authors for that. I also want to add a little historical context because it's important for the public to understand a little bit of that as well, and what we're not doing. Because I know that, you know, this phrase sanctuary city has become the subject of the most immense demagoguery around this country by, you know, folks on the left and the right, frankly. And so I want to make sure we understand, you know, what the city's history on this has been. Some folks in the public even described how embarrassing it is that the city hasn't taken action on this earlier. Well, 45 years ago, Police Chief Daryl Gates, not seen as a friend to communities of color or vulnerable communities in this city, Daryl Gates established Special Order 40. So when Fox News says that we're doing something wild and crazy here, let's remember that 45 years ago, this city enacted Special Order 40. And Special Order 40 has stood without change through 10 chiefs of police and 7 presidents of the United States of both parties. Why? Because it is essential to public safety. First of all, because it's essential to ensure that our immigrant communities don't have to live in fear that the Los Angeles Police Department is going to be going and enforcing immigration laws, but also so that we can ensure that our immigrant communities know that they can come forward to the Los Angeles Police Department and be witnesses to crime and report crimes and not be in fear that if they do the right thing, that they or their relatives will face deportation. That's why Special Order 40 mattered 45 years ago and still matters today. Since 2014, for the last 10 years, it has been the policy of the Los Angeles Police Department not to honor any ICE request to hold an individual otherwise eligible for release from custody absent a judicial determination of probable cause for that detainer or a valid warrant from a judicial officer. For the same reasons, because we want to make sure that our communities, our residents know that we are not going to be a party to expediting their deportation or to enforcing the federal immigration laws, because the Los Angeles Police Department does not have the resources to do that. It's not our job, and it's not consistent with the values of our city or our city council or the Los Angeles Police Department to do that. The LAPD has never participated and will not participate in the voluntary program established under federal law to allow LAPD to enforce immigration laws. We have never done that, and we are not going to do that. And then in March of 2017, under Mayor Garcetti, of course, there was the executive directive, his executive directive number 20, to even broaden and make clear that Los Angeles will not be a party to ICE efforts here to enforce federal immigration laws, where the primary purpose is federal civil immigration enforcement. No employee of the city would assist or cooperate with or allow any city monies or resources to be used to assist or cooperate with those sorts of federal actions. So this has been the practice and policy of this city in one way or the other for almost a half century, and it has worked. And so we need to, and the progress that we've made in improving this to make sure that our communities feel safe has also been beneficial, not only to those communities, but to all Angelenos, because it makes all of us safer. So I hope that the demagoguery that undoubtedly will begin at a national level as soon as we pass this ordinance will also be mindful of the fact that by enacting this ordinance, by the continuing practices that we've been engaged in the city for 45 years, we are actually keeping Angelenos safer. That has to be a part of the story of what we're doing. We're not only just keeping immigrant communities safer, we're keeping all of us safer by enacting this ordinance. So again, I want to thank my colleagues for their hard, difficult work in creating an ordinance that actually codifies all these great practices that we've been engaged in. And when the amendments come back to us, I will be proud to support this ordinance.
Thank you.